Good evening. Welcome everyone to the Two-Edged Sword. I am your host, La'Tanya Moore-Newsome, and to the right we have co-host Ashley Moore. Hey, Ashley. Hi. Hey. We have two guests tonight, and of course, a great performer that you guys are going to have the pleasure of gracing his talent. We have to the left, Black Rain.
How you doing?
We're doing great. To the right, we have Player from the Himalaya. Who we got? What that name is?
Gucci LeBron.
Gucci? They thought he said it was Ashley, right? Gucci, what do you say, right? It's like, what? I don't know nothing about that, right?
I'm on my R&B tonight.
Right. What he has said. Right. So we about to definitely get some R&B going. Rocking and see what's going with the R&B. So, hey, tonight, we're going to turn it over when we get into the topic. Let's see what's going on with our performer tonight. Yeah, Ashley. Come on.
We ready?
Come on. You ready? Come on.
Let's do it.
So, y'all know we come with it every Tuesday. Today, we bringing a new artist. His name is Black Rain.
Yes, ma'am. That's how we do it.
Yeah.
We ready. R&B vibes tonight.
All the way turned up. So we got the two songs he is doing today will be Run It Up and Medusa.
For some of y'all who already know it, some of y'all don't. But we finna get into it.
Go ahead and give them your social media.
So listen, y'all follow me all platforms. Official Black Rain. Official BLAKRAIN on all platforms.
Here we go.
Let's
Black
go.
Rain will Run It Up.
Hey. Yeah. Hey. R&B vibes tonight. Let's go. What's up, girl? It's that shit you never had. From home, don't just run it up tonight. What's up, girl? It's that shit you never had. From home, don't just run it up tonight. Make your dreams turn into a fantasy. I wanna see you next to me, oh baby. I place the world at your feet. I got your back, it's all on me. That cash, and go get that back, yeah. Put it up, you deserve it, let me see your hands. Say what you wanna do. Baby, it's all up to you. Cause I give you everything from me. Say that in this world for free. I lay it all on the line for free. Because of you. Run it up, girl, and get that shit you never had. But let them hold, girl, you know just where it's at. Baby, run it up tonight. Baby, run it up tonight. Up, girl, and get that shit you never had. But let them hold, girl, you know just where it's at. Baby, run it up tonight. Run it up tonight. We're chasing the money, baby, to the cash, baby. You know what you do with this shit, we're bragging that people. Baby, it's up to you, you don't just me and you. Till the end of time, you know just what to do. That girl, that's what you never had. But let them hold up, you know just what I'm saying. We're run it up tonight. Baby, we're run it up tonight. But girl, that shit you never had. But let them hold up, you know just what I'm saying. We're run it up tonight. Baby, we're run it up tonight. Yeah, what y'all think about it?
Hey, we love it.
So look, check this out. And I know I got another song. I got my new single out right now. We gotta play that Medusa though. And the reason why we gotta play Medusa is because we're talking about relationships, right? And so if you ever been in a toxic relationship before, you ever been the person who was on the receiving end or the giving end, but This song is for everybody who's been in a toxic relationship, and it's called Medusa. Let's do it. Hey. Hey. Let's do it. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey. There we go. You just to make you lose control to your mind and your emotion. If you ain't right, what do I say? Hope you can handle it. To make you lose control to your mind and your emotion. If you ain't right, what do I say? Look at the world you can handle. Take your mind and your soul, make you lose all control. What you doing? Nobody cares, no news. Over here to rain on you. Whatever what's gonna do. Do a dance for me. Trying to risk it all for me. Let's go. To make you lose control. If you ain't right, baby, I say, hope you can handle it. To make you lose control. If you ain't right, hold it. Baby, I say, hope you can handle it. For me, some places on me, down in love tonight, I'll give you everything. Today anything, all in the world, no energy. Got me so high, I pray I make it through the night. Girl, you got me so high, I pray I make it through the night. She make you lose control. If you ain't right, put it out there. Hope you can handle it. She make you lose control. If you ain't right, it's all random. Baby, that's crazy. Hope you can handle it. She make you lose control, take your mind and yes, you'll use it. If you ain't right, she take your soul and abuse it. Baby got sex appeal, baby got will appeal. Hope you can handle it. Yeah. It's your boy Black Rain. Like I said, Medusa's my new single. And it's out on all platforms right now. And it's going crazy. Believe it or not, it's going crazy right now. So again, you can follow me on all platforms. Official Black Rain. Official Black Rain. BLAKRAIN. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Come through with the R&B. And I just want to say, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear how good that sounds?
Real singing.
Man, I did my thing tonight, and he definitely came through with those. Yes. Come on through, Black Rain with that running up in Medusa.
Yes.
So, a couple quick questions for you. What would be one of your favorite lines in either one of your songs?
Man, run it up probably be I got the bag, run it up, girl, and get that shit you never had. But fuck them hoes, girl, you know just where it's at. Baby, I'ma run it up tonight. That's that one. And then Medusa is I got the money over here, but it rain on you. She got the money over there, baby, what you gonna do? Baby, talk nasty to me, do a little dance for me. Got on that birthday suit, trying to risk it all for me, yeah.
Yes. Another round of
An encore over here.
And I write all my music too, so.
Yeah.
We ain't doing no ghostwriters. Six Entertainment is the label I'm signed to. We ain't doing no ghostwriting.
Right, I know that's right. So what would be one of your go-to songs?
Man, everybody love Run It Up though. I got plenty of records, but anytime I play Run It Up, it go pretty crazy. I dropped Run It Up, I think maybe like last year, I want to say. So Medusa's the newest single, so I'm really just getting out and actually performing that song, but probably Run It Up.
Okay. So last but not least, who is one of your favorite artists?
Oh man, I got a lot of.
Did you say R.
But
Kelly?
I'm old school. I mess with Kelly, man.
Did I hear R. Kelly?
Listen, I wasn't there when he was doing what he was doing, but I was definitely
everybody doing it.
I was definitely listening to his music. I can tell you that. So, he's definitely an inspiration when it comes to music. But I'm old school though, man. Like I don't even have a favorite artist. I mean, I might, the Stylistics might be my favorite group. But, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna go with Maxwell. Let's do it.
Wow, you going with Maxwell? We need a verse from Fortunate. Need a little line from Fortunate. I'll put you on the side. You said Maxwell.
All is well. That's my favorite. So.
That's my favorite.
That's my favorite Maxwell, but yeah, it gotta be Maxwell. I got a list though. I got a long list.
Don't we all? So before we end, I want you to give your social media again, and then we're gonna have you back on the show. And it was good. Like I ain't even got no words. I'm a little stunned. I know, right? All I can say is let's get the show started.
I do this for real. So
do it on
again, my social platform is official Black Rain, official BLAKRAIN, and Medusa, like I said, is available on all platforms. 6 Entertainment. So
yeah, join us on the panel. Amazing. It's amazing black young man right here. It's like, you see that nigga? You think he a little sexy or something? The words, look at her giggling. You be singing all the time. Let me see what I was watching her. She was like, "That's my man." Right. And I don't even know. I know that's her man because her looks was like, "That's my man right there. That's mine." Don't smell too hard. She like, "Yes, baby. Yes. It's like you're supposed to be proud of your man. That's what we do, right? Shoot, who else gonna stroke his ego? Right. Not you. Biggie and them same vibes. He be faking to you when he mad. Can we woo? Can we woo? Beatboxing to you. It should be done.
They don't call it rhythm and blues for nothing.
Right? Cheating in the next one. Now let me stop. That was the laughter. I was going to holiday last $2. So, yeah, that's another one. She's on the last $2. She didn't listen to that since she was 2. Come pick up from my mama. She like, these last $2. I was like, all in the Lexus. Still, 31 liking it. But you know what? She gets so happy.
That old school music, the best music.
Yes, man. She was made made off of like that R. Kelly.
I think I was too.
I think you was. I always thought it was Shine.
See, I was young dancing in the kitchen with my grandma.
Right.
On vinyl records.
Right.
I was on that Sade. That Sade was hard, baby.
Yeah.
Think I made a fine baby.
Hey, there's a lot of music I listen to that I ain't even know how dangerous that was.
Right.
Yeah, we ain't know the meaning.
We know the meaning.
We know it sounded good. That's all good.
They say music comes with savage beats. So, I think it's an imperative part of this show, like having artists that can relate with topics and their music is just being, transformed musically, so then it touches a certain type of frequency in us, and then we can get into it. Just like no difference in service. You have the master of music first because it sets a tone, and it ain't something you're going to see every day. So I think, I I like it. I like them both though. Those songs was like they was fine.
This
Well,
was hard.
look, I was low key. I've been low key. You should have heard the house thumping when I played this. You been low key playing it out like the kids like, Mama, what you doing?
I mean,
It was so ready to dread up your hair. Right. Twisting. I was too sad twisting last night listening to.
you know what I realized?
What's that?
If you get a woman to like your music, the man will buy it.
Yeah.
So they say men buy the music.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they gonna buy what they woman like.
Right.
So right.
What you be buying for your chick, Larry?
Oh man, hey, I buy his.
Right.
I'm like,
We gonna throw in the
I'm starting off with the Medusa.
Right. I heard the dance and the birthday too. I could just visualize you.
Y'all know what it is. We grown. You know what it is.
Grown. Well, on top of being grown, let's tap into this. It's mental, emotional healing topic. So we are, as I know, we're about to get the definition. You remember the topic? Healing emotional health, right? Something. No, I'll be forgetting. It's I just get the flyer and post it. I see the flyer, I see the topic, and then it's just what it is.
It's healing relationship wounds.
Yes, healing relationship wounds. It's not just women, it's men too.
Absolutely. Facts.
So, we on the men tonight.
Maybe more so men than women.
Oh, man, we about to get into this. We are, because the women get beat up a lot about, not being mentally ready to date and etc. So tonight we're going to talk, because it's not just, that's what I said, it's not just the women, it's men too. So let's get the definition of healing. Can we get the definition?
1 second.
Oh no. 1 second. No, they say you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right?
No, when that taco in your hand.
Go on. It's Taco Tuesday where we at, y'all. Right? She's like 1 second. Right, my taco
Y'all have time to tacos, come down here.
What is the definition? Bottle ship. I don't know why we is not at a car lot. This is why I mean, people be like, yeah, can you give me, the rundown, give me that. I'll be like, no, this is straight transparency, straight, unscripted. I can follow a script if I needed to. I'm going to tell you that now. I'm going straight, right? She going to be going dotting I's and crossing T's and crossing stuff. Yeah, I can barely read. Now that ain't how I'm feeling today right now. So we're going to need you got to stop playing. Okay, thanks. Okay, we're ready.
Healing relationships focus on creating a space where balance and harmony exist so that the healing process will be supported. Healing relationships recognize that the emotional and spiritual well-being of people in the relationship are paramount importance in the support of healing.
Hey, I like that. Right. We all got that, right? They broke it all the way down. Down. First questions that you guys gonna answer. All right. I'm nervous. Y'all nervous? Because these will be questions that you will talk about, like with me and you, or you and him. Like if you was in a situation, you wouldn't really. A lot of couples don't talk about it to break the ice to be able to communicate. So the first question will be, how do you help your partner heal their emotional trauma? How would you handle that?
As it gonna talk to my brother? She said like gonna talk to him. You having a conversation. So if me and him have a conversation, how would I help him to?
How do you help? No, I'm just saying these are questions that you would never really talk to your partner about. Like you would be more comfortable talking to a friend or a homeboy. So these questions are opening up different aspects of that. So it says, how do you help your partner heal their emotional trauma? So how would you don't follow that way.
Oh well, let's see. I mean, it depends on who it is. You know what I'm saying? Because we have different relationships with different people. You know what I'm saying? Like I may have a relationship with him. I may just met him. I may have a relationship with her. You know what I'm saying? I've been on her 2 years. I may have been on you 5, 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on who it is. So one, let's say somebody who I just met, I really don't really know them for real. I really probably just trying to maybe just kind of more just comfort them more on the surface level, you know what I'm saying? Because when you get on a deeper level with some people, they may not understand where you're coming from, especially when you're telling the truth. Because the truth sometimes hurts. So you gotta understand if they're able to receive the truth first. So that's why I say it depends on who it is, you know what I'm saying, in the relationship y'all have.
Okay, that's a great answer. So let's say, I was gonna say, let's say this is your person, your main person. Yes.
My dude? Oh,
No, your homegirl. Your homegirl. This is your partner.
Your girl, your
like your
woman.
spouse, your chick. Yeah.
That's right.
So how would you help her?
Oh, listen, I've been through that situation already, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Because my ex-wife, she had been through situation with her past, and she had been married before, and when I met her, she had been through a 2-year depression, right? I didn't personally understand depression because I've never really been around nobody with depression, but me, I come with a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, and we gonna have fun. So my way of helping her was through having that fun. You get what I'm saying? But time did move on where reality set in with other things. We're living together, paying bills, so it kind of changed a lot of the dynamics of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But at first, it was just the fun. So that's how I helped her.
Okay, that's creative. I mean, that's your character, so I could see that. You know, especially as a kind of off-known temporary fix. I'm sure it was kind of like off-known temporary.
Nah, we were serious. We were like serious.
No, I'm talking about the funness, like suppressing the depression with fun.
But like I said, I didn't understand the depression. I just was doing
Right.
me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking out 7 days a week, you know what I'm saying? She's like, damn, we going out like this. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? We stunned. We in the street, we outside.
We outside.
It was,
Yeah.
you know, people with depression,
Yeah.
they can hide it really well. They can wear a smile on their face all day long and be crushed on the inside. So you was fulfilling her needs as far as being able to get out and explore, but mentally she still was.
She really just stuck in the place, you know what I'm saying? But it came back up later on down the line.
That's what I'm saying with the temporary fix of the fun right here.
So that's why I'm gonna say this. I think, and I believe the only way is to just be their comfort zone. Because truly, you can't fix it.
I totally agree. I tried to fix it. I couldn't fix it. That's why we
No
divorced
problem.
now. I couldn't fix it.
Sometimes
Okay.
trying to fix it make it worse.
Man, trying to fix it, open their eyes up to stuff, all they do is backfire on you.
Absolutely.
Every single time.
So I believe the only thing you can do is be that shoulder when you need somebody to cry on. Be that partner to laugh, and like you were saying. But in its totality, you can't fix it. They have to fix it.
God gotta fix it.
God gotta fix it. And they gotta fix it.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. With what both of y'all were saying, to me, I don't think I ever really had a chance to try to help my partner heal their trauma, because once I realized they had trauma, it was already ugly, and then we both battling with trauma that we never told each other about. So I can't really say that I did it per se, but I can say when I did find out about it, I could relate to a lot of it, so I did try to make it better the best way I knew I could. Because at the time when I was dealing with this, I was in my early 20s. So I didn't know what I was doing myself. So it was kind of hard for me to follow through with. I can say I do help people heal their traumas before I help heal mine, but it was still doing it without knowing I was doing it, if that makes sense.
Make plenty of sense.
These sound really good.
Here we go. Here we go. The good one right here.
They all, these are like great.
Oh, they're good and
like,
great, but this
these
is
are
grand
all
finale.
like
They're the real one.
amazing.
Facts.
Points. I was going to say, doing all those things collectively definitely plays a part, but because we're dealing with the mental space of these individuals, they're going to have trained professionals to intervene as well. Because without that trained professional, like we said, like you like, okay, I'm gonna have fun, and that's gonna help. It'll work for a minute, and you know, oh, I'm gonna stroke the emotional ego and let them know I'm here and I'm supportive morally, and it's gonna work too temporarily. Then it's like, okay, I understand because I've been through it. Now we have a reciprocity. We have where I can relate to you, you can relate to me, we can relate to us type thing, and let's just try to figure this out. But ultimately, a lot of times, even with said they can't help themselves or they gonna have to help themselves, when you in a place like that, a lot of the times they don't even know that they really need help.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
You're right about that.
Or like you said with a few good men, you can't handle the truth. Like, ain't nothing wrong with me. Like, no, that type thing. So a professional that has no ties to them would be like, sit back and say, listen, I'm biased in this situation. But this is, you know, have you tried this? And let's try that. And then what about the chemical imbalance? So the chemical imbalance is something that unless they fixing it, you know, with synthetic medication from the psychiatrist or either herbal or whatever, they still gonna need to balance.
They just put the Band-Aid
Right.
on.
You're gonna have to balance. So it's a lot of wounds to open up. And what I've seen for having to deal with it, not a lot personally in a relationship that's like a spouse, but in my family. And I mean, growing up with it in a household with my mom, it was like, what, in my mind, nothing wrong with me. I'm like, what the heck did I just step into?
Right.
And they really don't even be knowing what's going on at that time. And I would be like, oh, this is going on. Like, something can't be right. You know what I mean? And then you come back and be like, Mom, I'm sorry. They like, I'm sorry. I didn't, you know. And I had to do a lot of research in it. And then also at counseling time, I was there. Because now I need an understanding about what I don't understand mentally, because I'm not a person that deals with depression or, you know what I mean, schizophrenia, any of these things. So that support, being supportive was great. You know, hey, let's, you know, laugh and wine center is great and all those things, but definitely having trained professionals is going to be imperative.
You know, I would say, you know, I totally believe in what you're saying, right? I had trained professionals. I had in that same situation, the same marriage, we had trained professionals I think it was 3 different times, right? And those 3 times, it helped for the moment, because she listened and it helped her. But eventually, she without that trained professional around to keep it going in her head, she reverted right back. And the only thing that really changed it was the divorce. Like, it was crazy because it seemed like it took for something to happen for her to realize something that was traumatic. You know what I'm saying? Because a divorce is traumatic. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it was traumatic for me. It was traumatic for her. But we had a conversation after the fact, and I'm just like, why you didn't think this would say this during the marriage?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? We had trained professionals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, it just helped for the moment.
Right. Go ahead.
Well, let me say this. So I heard what you said about the trained professional, but then you said, what if they don't know that they have that trauma, or they have that issue? So if they don't know, how could they go get professional help?
So the not knowing or recognizing, I want to accept that you need it, is going to come in. That's before they actually want to get the help. Because that's always what he say with his ex-wife. It's a lifestyle. When you have that's just like a person that had an accident and have to use a walker for the rest of their life. You can't just get on the walker one day and then you walk without. It's his consistency. You consistently have this trained professional that is now a part of your life. This is just like when people go on diets and you can't just diet. You got to change the lifestyle. You go in the gym, like it's right. You like, this is now part of you waking up and going to sleep. So putting those skills in action and activating them is what's going to help counteract that. And that's why she was having those off and ons, and I know about them too. And don't let, you know. And then again, the balance with, you know, them figuring out really what is the issue, where is the imbalance at. Because you can talk to somebody till they blue in the face. Most of us, you're gonna do that anyway. Ain't nothing wrong with half of us. It's just, you know what I mean? You're like, what? Like, man, get out of here, type thing. Like them, I was going to touch on that, but a different aspect. Some people do get the help, but mentally, physically, and emotionally, they didn't learn shit. I know, you know what I'm saying? I went through a situation where I was in a relationship for 7 years. We went through our ups and downs. The court made us go take self-esteem classes. We both taking classes. I didn't pass my class. This man ain't learned shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want to work on himself to get rid of his anger, get rid of his trauma, get rid of losing his. We both lost our daddy. So I'm like, I can relate to that. I can relate, but he's the only child too. I grew up with 6 siblings, so the dynamics was very, very different. You know what I'm saying?
Even at the end of the day, he wasn't your person.
Right, even though he wasn't right, he wasn't my person. But I'm saying I went through the most trauma with him. I went through the most up and downs with him. I went through a lot of stuff to learn about myself in him and learn about relationships. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, when I start recognizing that you don't want to take the help that these people are giving us, and I even had in-home counseling. When my father died, my mama got me counseling. You know what I'm saying? I had depression, all of that stuff, but I took the initiative to actually go talk to them people, to go sit down. I didn't care if they was white, black, Puerto Rican, Asian. You go, ma'am, I need to talk.
Right.
You hear me?
But I think, see, triggers, I believe, triggers is, oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I believe triggers is what acknowledges what is going on. And the reason why, from my personal experience, and
this is the transparent show.
you know, I'm in my R&B band, but I'm gonna have to get a little personal.
Please do.
So I didn't realize how angry of a person that I was. Right? I didn't realize how certain things would trigger my anger. Right? Until I had a conversation with my father, and he apologized for the things that he done and not being there and things like that, and it was a weight. But I had no idea that was. I was like, forget, you know, blah blah blah. I'm gonna be what he ain't.
Right.
But not knowing that was a trigger for me. You get what I'm saying? So, but for me to, I had to mentally acknowledge that, and that was a weight that was lifted off. And like I say, me now compared to 6-7 years ago, a fireball, a fireball, right? But see, once I acknowledge, because people say, man, you upset all the time. Like, I don't look angry. I don't, you know, but that's, I don't feel angry. But to the other person that sees me on the outside is noticing those things. So once I forgave him, I began to understand how to heal myself. Not knowing that I needed that healing at first. But then when Father's Day would come around, I got my own kids, and Father's Day would come around, and I would see people post pictures of their dad, and it's still a trigger every now and then. But I wish, my dad was, that I could take. I have pictures with my dad to post. You get what I'm saying? So I think that it's the triggers and acknowledgement is what even gets you to the counseling table.
Absolutely.
Now he said something very detrimental to this society. You know what I'm saying? Women got to understand that, y'all grew up without, well, maybe not y'all personally, but a lot of women grew up without fathers. And so did us men too. Now, men and women are different. Now, the way we handle the situation where our father's not there, that was the way he handled it. He's a man with testosterone, naturally. Y'all build the testosterone and learn how they go, you know what I'm saying? But y'all not built what we built with, you know what I'm saying? So in a situation like her, and she was saying that her baby, their relationship, she was in for 7 years, she was saying that he didn't want to, you know what I'm saying, go through counseling and stuff. A lot of that is an ego, and a lot of stuff within men that even though you was willing and he wasn't willing, you know what I'm saying, you had to find how can you, it's a loophole.
Yeah, he may have wanted.
He may have wanted, but you just 7 hours away. That was my loophole.
No, that's not the loophole. Because see, you didn't understand him, right? Because of your own situation. So you couldn't really see him deeply. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, you just seen what he was doing and you reacted. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that, I'm not taking it from him, period.
No, I understand.
Trying to be there for him, even just trying to go.
She didn't know how. because her
No.
own situation. She didn't know how. She didn't understand.
I
his
can't
trauma.
say right. I can't say in the beginning that I didn't know how, but the longer we stayed together, I did. Cause one, I watched my mama. Like my mama would see if we lived with on Jefferson when you and Daddy first got together. My mama would put the meditation music on, have my daddy close his eyes, talk to him. Like it was to the point to where I had to be my mama for a minute.
I ain't know that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had to channel my inner woman to figure out how to help this man open up his heart. He cried in front of me after so long. So you know what I'm saying? Like we got to that point, but like you said, I told him every action gets a reaction. Like if you want me to love you, you got to show me that you trying to love me too. So if you can't show me that you loving me and these kids and we building a family, instead of us arguing, fighting, going back and forth, breaking up the makeup, you got to stay with your mama, I got to call my mama because you doing this and all that. He literally, like we even was together like what, a year or two after we went to counseling. It never stopped. It got worse. He didn't want to take the time to realize like I'm running all my kids and both of my baby mamas away from me because I'm so angry. So like it was a lot that was being held in.
That's called rebellion.
Yeah, like
rebellion.
yeah, like I tried and tried and tried and tried. Like outside of trying to keep a family together, I was trying to figure out like why we can't get it together. What's really wrong with you?
Kudos to
So,
you.
Yeah.
For real.
I mean, you did what you could, but this is, one thing is we're responsible for us. And
That's it.
y'all hear me say all the time, like, take accountability. Take accountability. I'm not going to let you project what you going through onto me. And invade my aura, like, because then I now, not only is it one of us, now becomes two. And that's what they say. I associate that with when you get rid of one demon, seven more come type thing, because the energy is that strong, right? So going back to what you were saying with the triggers are so it can evoke the shadow side that you're not dealing with, because the subconscious holds it in, you know what I mean? And it's like consciously you like, oh, I'm fine and everything's good, hey girl, hey, and subconsciously I call it my Pandora's box. The reason I call it the Pandora's box is because you know when you open that Pandora's box, everything coming out. Everything, and you better be ready. Right? You know what I'm saying? My Pandora box had all
How big is that blue box?
I don't know, like it's still like it be sometimes it be beating and it just kind of pop out and I'm like, okay, one at a time. Let me master one of these y'all shadow demons one at a time. Because if that box pop open at the same time, I'm about to hurt somebody. So, you know what I mean? So you gotta handle that box. And you close, that's what the subconscious does, but really, unbeknownst to us, we're the mental, the physical, and the spiritual still dealing with it, even though we got on our avatar and our facade, walking around like everything is okay. We're dealing with these things internally, and I don't look at people physically, I see past physical, because everything is vibrational, everything's energy, everything is spiritual, right? See straight through it. They always say the eyes are the seat of the soul. People, I'll be like, yeah. They be like, and I just be looking. My spirit be like, girl, you know you gotta get down, right? Like, end this conversation right down, okay? Are you gonna take on that trauma? But you gotta be prepared to accept where you at in your life. You gotta be prepared to face the demons. That's what they are. So that you gotta, which is your own self, right? Like it's your own self.
Facts.
He just wasn't ready to face his demons. It's hard to really deal with,
Hard to face the truth.
you know what I mean, right? To deal with flaws and things like.
Ooh.
But before we move on to the next question, like, as a man, when do you say, okay, I'm getting older, it's time for me to stop, I need to mature, I need to get rid of these mental illnesses, this stress, this anxiety, like, because dude's almost touching 40.
Right.
So, like, when do that kick in? Like, I know it's different ages for every man, just like it is every woman.
Well, I believe that sometimes the trauma or the person who traumatized us, sometimes it depends on when you face that trauma. And the reason why I say that, because even like I said with my dad, I didn't go to counseling, but what I needed from him, he gave me.
How old you was?
Maybe what, 20, 25,
That's
26?
young. That's young. 25. It's people out here in their 50s.
Who still deal?
60s.
I know who still.
Never.
Who never. But a
He's
pride.
angry with his mom.
But see,
From keeping him from his dad.
That's
and
what-
stuff like that. But how
I got a
does
whole
that,
situation
right,
for you.
so let's see how, so we can back it up a little bit, because we do have a mental health session that we need to do, which is kind of a lot of this, what we want into pertaining the issues that we're talking about with the healing, right? Pertaining to your relationships, how do you handle these things with your relationship? It could be currently. You could be currently in this type of emotional relationship. But what I'm getting at is, okay, so dating, for instance, right now for us dating, at least two of y'all not single, two of us are single, right?
Okay.
Now with the dating sector, a lot of the situations be past trauma, and then you'll see it. Even though I'm like, I don't want to deal, I'm not your last man, I'm this, I'm not that, and be healed, be emotionally available, but rah. And I'll be like, hold on, it's the man too. I know, because I'll be here like say, and y'all do get to comment, because that's what the mic's for. You guys know what I'm saying? Yes, give her the mic, Naja. She has something to say. It is definitely the men too.
agree with
Over
that.
90, out of 100%, 100% could be one person, 100% could be two. But out of 100%, I would definitely say over 95, 97% of them really have not faced the past relationship or situation, but they put on the facade like they have. But as soon as you get to, that's why women get ghosted a lot. That's why the dudes just uplead, because they have not, there's a trigger hit. Oh my God, I remember, it's kind of remembering Latisa.
We gotta get
Girl, let me
something.
call you back. And then you be like, damn, where you at?
I gotta get something.
Before she get on, real quick. So they never dealt with their past trauma within those relationships. So they haven't had time to heal. Sometimes after their relationship, you need a moment for yourself. Now there are some people who are emotionally attached to people.
Facts.
To where
Water signs.
they continue to keep having relationships. They keep having relationships to negate the fact that they had past problems in their
That
relationship.
codependency. It's got a
Correct.
codependency. And that's the devil energy in the spiritual
But then
world.
I'm gonna let
Come on,
Come on,
baby.
yes, come on.
Naja, make sure she's in frame.
She ready.
She's
too.
ready. Come
She
on,
ready.
man. Come on,
She got
now.
so much to feel.
What?
All right. Stand right there.
Make sure she in frame.
What's your name?
Akira.
Akira. I love that name. Akira, so give me that mic.
So I would like to say that I guess when you start in a relationship with somebody and you realize that this person may have some sort of trauma or something like that, and this is the person that you want to be with and you're trying to like pursue a relationship with, I feel like it's important to, number one, create a safe place. A person who has been through trauma and is depressed and all this stuff, throughout their life, they're not safe. They haven't been in safe situations, they can't trust anybody. Things are just rough, right? So when dealing with that type of person, you have to create a safe space. You have to make them feel like, okay, I can tell you this and you're not going to throw it back in my face. I can tell you this and you'll still love me for me or be with me for me. So my thing is creating a safe environment, a safe space for that person to actually be them. And they will eventually heal. Eventually.
Hey, you know what?
All right.
I would say that is so true. But I'm saying the most important thing about what she said, you know what I'm saying, and I'm agreeing with you, but I'm picking back off you, is time. Time is, man, I'm telling you, you create a safe space for them today, tomorrow, in a week, in 2 weeks, it won't do no good. But if you create this, you gotta have patience and time. Because if you got patience, then you'll have the time. You get what I'm saying? Because if you don't have no patience, that time, you know what, forget this, it ain't working. I know. I have patience, but I don't have patience. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, so you gotta have patience with a person. I'm telling you, them people like that. Man, patience is a mother.
I have a lot of patience.
Come on.
You gotta have it. You know what I'm saying with somebody. But listen, though, in order for you to understand it, you can't have as much trauma, as much issues as that person for you to recognize it. Because if both y'all equally, then guess what? You're not gonna even project that.
In a tornado.
It's too, man. What? Too bad, man. They doing that. You wonder why? You're like, man, this is that butt time.
They ain't never getting out of that.
What?
Only way to get out of that, they gotta move on.
But what's so crazy, y'all don't never leave each
Come
other.
on. All right. Toxicity. Come on. You gotta come up in the front, please.
Big dog in the building.
The black ink.
I
see you.
No, actually.
Hold on. Can I get a tattoo? No.
No, actually. Dr. Jeffrey Donato work.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
I used to work with black ink, but I'm actually a doctor.
Okay.
Now, I was, yeah, but I don't really want to be on camera because I want to address both sides because you got like 1, 2, 3,
No,
4.
just follow them. That's all you got to do.
Okay,
Yeah,
follow
do
you.
that.
Okay.
Move.
All right.
Right there.
That's good?
Just go back.
Sideways.
Okay. All right, so you got me right here?
Yeah, that's good.
Because I don't want to stand in front of you.
Yeah,
That
that's
would be-
Oh, no, you good. Do your thing.
All right, so
Yeah.
me coming from a person who has been through therapy, who has healed, you know, I wanted to ask you guys because I get a lot of different personalities that I see here that come from multiple different backgrounds. So when you identify healing, and you all can answer this because it's a 3-part question. When you identify healing, right, you had to either, 1, sought out a professional that either described or diagnose whatever it was that you were going through. So first you have to understand that, 1, your mental space where you were in before you were considered toxic, unhealed, broken, whatever the case may be. There's other things that attach itself to that. So to give you an example, some people may deal with a personality disorder, what they also call super egoism. Now, super egoism comes from a few things in family: being a matriarch, being the one who normally takes care of things. People come to you to ask for money, favors, need a ride here, need a ride there, right? But then you also have the side where it comes from heartbreak, whether if it's a death, a divorce, or a split or a breakup, right? So these things affect the person's personality on a social level. So, in other words, where I see a lot of y'all conversations coming from, a few things that I think has to come across. 1, you just can't go see a therapist. Like when an animal is in the wild and they go through getting hunted at and things like that, what y'all don't see on the opposite side is the trauma release that they go through. The animal will shake, it will shiver. What it's doing is releasing that trauma. You as a human being, if you haven't did any trauma releasing exercises, I don't care how healed you think you are, you haven't released that trauma. That trauma is still embedded in your meat and your soul. If you haven't did a real spiritual cleanse, you have soul ties that are connected out there. See, you may be thinking that, this person I'm with is toxic. And it's probably not even them. It's the other 40 motherfuckers you fucked. See, those are called soul ties.
200.
Let me finish. Because if you don't break those soul ties, whenever you lay down with a woman, whenever you lay down with a man, you're creating a soul tie. Whether you say you're married or not, it doesn't matter how you feel about it. Genetically and quantum physically is what it is. So, if you have never did a spiritual cleanse, if you never did no trauma release exercises, and you sit back and you say, well, I'm healed, that's a personality disorder, not a social one. Personality, because you believe you're healed. You believe it. You believe it so much you have faith in it. Now, let's show you how you, and believe it or not, trauma release exercises. Any of you out there at home, you can look it up on YouTube. Dolores Cannon can take you through billions of them. I'm not even kidding. You can really go into this stuff. You follow me? So, if you haven't did any trauma release exercises, 3 things you need to stay away from. It's like drug addicts. A crackhead can go on the block after he came out recovery and think he's going to stay off crack. You got to stay the hell out of areas where you got sick at in the first place. So, you got to remember, what you may think is those, as y'all was saying, like triggers, right? So, I'll give you an example. You heard how when she said earlier, like, the triggers would be something like, you get ghosted for 3 days or some shit like that, right? I'll give you an idea. A lot of times y'all step on landmines that you did not even create yourselves. They respond to something that someone else did that they see in you.
Exactly what
Now, some people may call that a red flag, but you don't know what their red flags are. You don't know what their triggers are. They're not triggers, they're personality landmines. Meaning, if you respond this way, and the way this person is used to someone responding may have seen of a violent outburst versus a person speaking passionately about something. They don't know how to comprehend that. So when you sit back and you say, well, communication is key, I find that hard to believe when comprehension is the root of all of it. Because if you don't understand what I'm saying, we could communicate all day, but if you can't receive it, then where do you go from there? But each of you, I would like to identify, like, what was a moment where you found this door that you healed? And I'd like to start with you because your answers, yo, you get pretty deep, big boy. You in there. So, like, I would like to get a full understanding from all of you.
I don't know. We got enough time. We ain't full understand. We got like 8 questions to go through. When is your time?
Well, it's only like,
and we'll be here like for hours and hours.
well, that's just one question I have.
What is?
I wanted to
I
know.
don't think he wanted to know.
Here you go.
I'm probably going to take that mic.
I believe in my journey that I'm still healing.
Exactly.
I believe that it's a journey to heal, and I believe in my personal journey, I'm still healing. So I can't say that I've been healed or that I'm fully healed. I can just say within my life and my journey right now that I'm still healing.
Dolores Cannon, Earl Nightingale, Kevin Trudeau. Dig into them.
So listen, what the doctor's saying, not a lot of our people are aware of it because that's one of the things that was definitely first stricken from us. Fortunately, for me and my household, we're very, like, that's not foreign. So what we have to do first is stick to the basics so we can talk to everybody on their level. We got religious people that definitely don't believe in none of the things we're talking about. I do, like, you can't, very few regularly, like, we spiritual bath, like, we do rituals. That's a ritual for us, cleansing and, releasing traumas and working on shadow sides. Sex is definitely a ritual. Sex is the strongest form of manifestation. You know that, but again, we have to start with, we've had that time a couple weeks ago on the show, but just starting with the basics of what their thinking is and the knowledge. Like I said, a lot of spiritual people, the first thing you're going to do is you better go to God, talk to God, not knowing that it's right. Yep. And then we do have a creator, but then he also said we have the same power and authority. So you just have to know that you have that too. And recognize that, and that's just a whole nother topic. But everything you said, I think, was really, really good. We ain't gonna get too much over their head. They're all valid. Facts at that. But just talking from a baby level, like a baby, you're not gonna give a baby solid foods before you put it on. You know what I mean? You choke the damn baby. Baby, you like he's sitting over here saying, I did it. I can't say because my son wanted to eat pizza and stand on the back of his high chair. So, what emotion do you try to avoid? But I think you said you did. Are you satisfied with his answer, Doctor? Okay. I think we all got the same places. Everybody's in different healing processes, etc. We have a plethora, so many things to work on and heal. If you ask me, we continuously healing until we here before we reincarnate again. We're continuously healing from one thing or another. Like there's not just, I'm gonna heal from 4 things. No,
Right, I got a whole
shop of
notebook.
money. You know what I mean? So and it's gonna take time to do those things, but that's part of ascension and elevation. We're working on it. So I agree with that, going through that. What emotion do you try to avoid?
Ooh, I would say my anger.
You silly.
I would definitely say, like, me being aggravated, my anger. I don't like to show that because I'm a Capricorn and my mom is a Pisces. So I have the goat in the water, and then really a Capricorn is half goat, half fish. So when I get angry and I get aggravated, like when my silence is the most deadly. So I really don't like to show that emotion, especially when I get mad to the point to where, because if I open my mouth, I'm shooting my bullets. AR-15. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try, right. Like, for real, shots fired. So, like, I would definitely say my anger and me being aggravated is an emotion that I don't like to show at all, because it's not pretty.
Wow. You got some? Oh, okay, that's the gas. Hey, excuse you got some?
Well, I don't think that I'm trying to avoid any emotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm a versatile person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get the good side of me, you get the bad side of you. It just depends on what the situation is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm mad and angry, that's because somebody did something to me, and I'm gonna let you know. Like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna let something happen and then don't say nothing about it. Then say something 3 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no, you fucked up right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm straight up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing with you. You feel me? Like, for real. But we happy. You know what I'm saying?
But sometimes it's necessary to just, chill.
Man, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be 100 with you.
We gotta take mental notes sometimes. I you did that. Cool.
Tell you no time. Listen, if it messed up, it messed up. I'm gonna let you know it messed up. Ain't no sense.
You need it?
Listen, I do makeup, right? I brow lashes and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say it. I would tell ladies, I'm still a man. My voice still has authority that comes out of my voice. You know what I'm saying? But if your lash is hanging off, I'm gonna let you know. Hey, baby, listen.
So he has no emotions.
I'm gonna fix your lash because I don't want you to walk around here with your lash hanging off. And the average person not gonna say nothing. They're not gonna say nothing. They're just gonna look at you. They're gonna be looking at your lash hanging off, and they're gonna be like, look at her lash.
Right.
And still at you. I'm trying to help you.
That's like Larry.
Okay.
When the man
We
say
have
he gonna be okay with, oh girl, you look good, but no, you look fat. No,
Right.
But you know what? And then when I was in that 7-year relationship, I would literally be like, do I look good? And it's like, he was like, no, your shoes don't match, or your shirt don't match. And I like that because I go to my sisters and be like, can I wear these shoes with this? Like, if I don't get my sister's approval over here, I ain't wearing it.
We have a question, an online question.
Self-awareness is key.
A comment, online comment. We can't hear you. Okay. BHC, give us a mic. You got a question.
Keisha Cosby, amen. Timing is everything. She's agreeing to everything y'all saying.
Hey, okay, good. All the way from Louisville, KY.
So I want to answer that question. See, so I'm a Gemini, so my emotions. See, they say,
what's wrong with Gemini?
so look, they say, oh Lord, but see, we are some of the most kindest, sweetest people you meet. But on the other side,
The bartender laughing.
on the other side, you don't want to upset us to a certain extent. Now, when I say that, the women are different from the men. The women are different from the men. So with me, it takes a level for me to get upset. But once I'm there, I am there.
So what emotion do you try to hide?
I don't think I try to avoid any emotion. I'm reserved with my emotions.
So you'll cry?
Absolutely.
Dude, in front of a man, in front of a dude.
In front of a man?
Yeah.
Depending on who the man is.
Thanks.
I'm going.
And see, and so let me say this. So to pick on that, let me say that. So I think every male friend that I have, I've known for more than 7 or 8 years. So we have an emotional connection. You get what I'm saying? And I believe men probably have more emotional connection with each other than we do with the other the female. Because we talk about things that we don't feel that we can talk to a woman about.
That woman, particular woman, which is something else and different,
right.
Because this is why we have these conversations every week. This is why, it's a lot of the conversations do be geared towards the women because, we have a huge responsibility, to cultivate listen, trust me, I'm taking nothing from you. But what I'm saying is, everything everything pretty much, majority of what you know, you learn from who? A woman. Your mom, your grandma, your great mama's the lady down the street in the corner that's watching everybody. Like, we're the cultivators, y'all the providers, y'all the protectors. So this is, look, and Larry, Ashley, and I already know, like, a lot of the times we're here, it's not ego. What are you talking? It has nothing to do with ego. I'm not a man. I don't have an ego, but I do know that my responsibility to my land, my children, the people that are around me. This is what Mother Earth is. Like, what do you mean? It ain't called Father Earth. It's called Mother Earth. However, just like James Brown summed it up, this is a man's world, but because when you get your side that you're nurturing from your mom. Like, your mom taught you a lot of things, how to carry yourself, how a woman likes to be handled, right? Because she's a woman. And we're the nurturers. That's why we carry the children. That's why we're responsible for what you're putting into your body, what you're cultivating with this baby, this creation. That absolutely, without the man, would not exist, right? But what we're talking about is really on the flip side, because again, taking nothing from the man, I have to understand, we're not doing our job. We're not on our job as women in its whole entire experience. This is why we have the result of what we're dealing with in this experience. This is also why men feel like they can't do or say certain things around, that's why I said a particular woman, because a woman that understands that she has to be emotionally available and it has to be the safe place for her man, that's not going to be a problem. It's not going to be a problem. Like Ashley said earlier, how she watched me make a safe place for my man. He wasn't even my husband at the time. For my man, I'm going to make a safe place for the next man because I'm supposed to be the safe place. Well, since it ain't the world, that's for sure. You're right, like exactly. So we have to take, which is a whole different subject, a lot of the accountability for that. So when I hear a man say, which is absolutely true, y'all not about to do a lot of the things that a man should be able to do in the presence of his woman. Just like there's a lot, unfortunately, there's some things we won't do in front of the presence of men because we all have these blocks up because we all are changing roles, reversing, etc., allowing society to do that. So our emotional side, all of that's out of whack. It's all off balance. This is why we having a conversation about healing past relationship wounds and that it's not just women. Y'all got to deal with, these traumas and these issues as well. But it's harder for y'all because y'all holding it in mentally. And then you might, if your homeboy ain't too busy, y'all can get together, then y'all congregate. But at the end of the day, that's still a temporary fix too, because then when you have another issue, what you gonna call your homeboy every time y'all get back? Damn, nigga, I was you know what I mean? That's to be something that you can do that helps build a foundation in your home. Part of building a foundation and a legacy is having that availability to put your emotions on the table with your partner. Just like having the availability to talk about finances and where y'all at spiritually and how y'all raising y'all children and what the likes and dislikes are not, and et cetera, et cetera. Emotions is something that get put on the back burner all the time. You know what I mean? And it's imperative
along with emotions and moral support run hand in hand. So when you feel the reason you can't go to your woman or man, it also is because you lack the moral support. It's hands down. You know what I mean? We too busy trying to be cute, trying to be at the gym all damn time, and she this. I'm saying it's nice, but anything you do too much, every time you treadmill, every time you call, like 80% say you call, I'm on my way to the gym. Have you worked on your mental outside of your physical?
Yeah.
And that goes for the women too. Like it's just everybody. We forget about this so abruptly that when it hits you like a car crash, nobody never sees a car crash coming and think it's gonna, you know what I mean, happen until it happens. You know what I mean?
But don't some people work on their mental while at the gym?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to.
First of all, you
recognize it.
right? Like I said, give me the treadmill. The reason why I like the treadmill is because one, you get to walk and your mental. Yes, you actually get to. Huh?
Can you work on your mental during sex?
No.
Like, you check it out, like,
I don't
I don't
know.
know about that.
No, lots of things to do to start. Let me say right. But
I mean,
listen,
there's wires and wires being crossed.
I want to say something real
yeah,
quick. Us as men, and I can only speak for the black community, we've been taught to hold our emotions in. We've been taught that our emotions is what makes us soft. We've been taught that a man is not supposed to cry. You've been taught that regardless of what happens, you're supposed to be this strong guy and not have a breakdown. But what tends to happen is we go on about life, and that breakdown happens at the wrong time.
Absolutely.
when you say we as men was taught that, you think 100% of all men, like across the board, every man?
Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that.
Nothing
It's
is
a high number, though.
Men, you speak for all
No,
men.
right, it's a high
You know what I'm
number.
saying?
So
But that number is
I
very,
wasn't taught that.
that number is very high, though.
the number is pretty much high, but we
The number
never
is high, I
speak,
agree.
like
But yeah, not 100%.
being careful, and that's somewhere because like men tend to do that. You women, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna stop you in tracks right there, like the railroad track.
Right.
I'm gonna let you know. No,
Right about
it's
that.
not across the board. However, it is a large majority of them. But then what happens is just what you said happens. But then that gets carried into your relationship,
There you go.
and then you have the issue with the fallback game and the reserve, being reserved, etc. So because of these things being that way as a learned and or taught behavior, that's the way you play it out. That's what you know, right? And a woman's job, again, one of the other jobs of us is to understand your man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm always going to be pro black men, and especially in, like you said, in our community, why this platform exists, because we're the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to building our legacies, keeping our families together, 2-parent households, raising children, having a business. I ain't even going to say education. I'm going to say having a business. You know what I mean? Because then you are able to then work on these things that are very, very important things in our lives. When you see, I associate a lot of things together. If you busy working for somebody else and helping them be accustomed to their lifestyle, and they get to go and do yoga and work on their spirituality with retreats and do spiritual cleanses, etc., the things that keep you in alignment, chakras is on 100. Here you are, lowering yours, and then your mental, that affects your mental and things too. So that's why I am big on being an entrepreneur. Nothing's wrong with a 9-to-5, but you gotta be able to sit back. If I don't want to do something, they call it that. I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I don't care. You ain't going to tell me what time I'm clocking in, because I need to know where I'm at mentally. It's maybe a day that I just, you know what, my mind's like, Tanya, chill out. Chill out. I'm not doing it. And I get to do that. I was born here freely. I should be able to move here freely.
Yeah, it's crazy because me and Granny was having that conversation the other day. She was like, I'm just so tired. One, you're getting older, so it's okay. It's just you and Clifton. Lay down, relax. Sometimes people need that time to just be lazy. It's okay to be lazy. That's just a part of self-care. Is not doing absolutely nothing. But to touch on what he was saying about having to suppress his feelings and put his big boy pants on and just deal with it. As a mother of just one son that's about to be 10, I let him know that it's okay to cry. I let him know it's okay to show his emotions. I let him know it's okay to feel his feelings.
Like, even with now, with their dad's not been around, I'd be like, how do you feel about this? Like, we had a discussion today over dinner, like, how do you feel about the situation that's going on? What would you do? And my son is such an old soul, he can have a conversation with you like he was our age. So I know my son understands. And right now, he's in a stage of, because he is the youngest, I only have a girl and a boy. He's emotional right now. He just wants, he's like a mama's boy. Like, I want to be up under my mama, I want to be up under my mama, but I have a lot of trauma that I had to heal from as a child myself, where I wouldn't allow my kids to be too close to me because of what was happening to me that I was never able to talk about. So now I finally just healed my inner child, y'all. I literally held my daughter and hugged her and talked to myself. And I was like, damn, I just unlocked a new level, because I've been trying to heal my inner child for so long. Even with me writing a note to myself in my journal and saying that everything that happened to me was not my fault, that wasn't enough. I had to literally talk to myself through my child. And it put a whole new perspective on me. Like, now it's okay for them to be like, I like to close my door and be behind my door. It's not because they doing what they doing as kids. It's because in my head, I feel like I should be secluded. Not knowing that I was taking their time and attention away from my kids, because I still was going through, in my head all the time, what happened to me. Like, I don't want to do that to my kids. I'm scared. Like, I don't want them to lay in the bed with me. I don't want them to do this. I don't want that. Like, I'm constantly scared for my children, because it took me so long to heal my childhood trauma.
Man, listen, let me just say, man, that's deep, right? There's a percentage.
Yeah.
We always talk about the large percentage of us that when they go through stuff, right? I'm part of the small percentage that don't go through stuff, or haven't been through things that most of our community been through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My parents was one of the first black people in a white neighborhood back in the early 80s, I'm sorry, late 80s and 90s and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't see trauma in my family. My family was all in church and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I seen love that my dad gave to my mom, make sure she had the best car, because he want to make sure that my mom's car didn't break down while she was out driving. You get what I'm saying? I'm a kid growing up, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't see my parents struggle. We were never homeless. We never went without food. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see issues that I hear now as a grown man that most people go through, right? So I'm a man that I meet a woman, she's been through all the issues. How do I deal with that?
I can't relate.
Right.
How do I, as a man who don't understand what she's been through as a child, or what he been through is what he went through his dad went here in life. When my dad was in my life, you know what I'm saying? I might not want to listen to him, I might rebel against it because I want to be, want to be my own man. But it's still not the same thing as what he went through not being there. You get what I'm saying? Like, even though I rebelled, I still grew up and be a man and still remember all the morals and values and principles that they taught me.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I still remember it. I still got it. And I try to project it onto a lady, and she don't understand. She don't understand me. I'm the small percentage.
Right.
Everybody around me is the majority percentage. So how do I adapt and be with the woman that been through all the issues?
So
help me.
Your question.
I'm trying to get married.
This is what remarried. This is what I was saying. I'm trying to have my first husband all the way together. So to say that, like, it's like to even be able to process that you know the difference, right? Is a great thing.
I'm
right?
open-minded.
And
This is why it's important for us to, thank you.
this is why it's important for us as individuals to take responsibility for who we're bringing into our covenant, into ourselves, right? Because, so think about it. Prime example, you're a really good example. You've come from stability. You've come from a foundation that was built strong, that had a blueprint, and nobody diverted from the process, etc. but then you this strong foundation, and you go over here, and this foundation, they janky promoter type foundation, like they cut corners, they know the homie with the building code, and the electrical ain't up to par, and they using the cheapest studs on the house, and then you come in and you solid, and you want to build a foundation on something that was never put up correctly, right? And you want to know, so how do I make its foundation solid? The first thing is recognizing that this shit need to come down. You can't pile, because the more you try to pile your structure onto something that's not foundationally sound, you're gonna put weight on it, and then it's gonna come. It's just slowly but surely. It's like when a house or something age and you get the cracks in the foundation. All this, it's solid. That's just put patches on it and still. No, like we need to pull this cement up, jack it up, and lay a whole new foundation. So now we have a solid structure, right? It can withstand the jumps, the bumps, the stumps, all of those things, the weight of vehicles, etc. So what that person has to recognize too is like, okay, is this really something that I'm even prepared to do? Like, when you have to re-alter, especially at our age and stage, when you have to re-alter what you've been doing for 10, 15, 20 years, that's mentally traumatic within itself. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be prepared to say, am I willing to take on a woman that I know is just going to be tragic? I know I'm going to have to rethink, because then you got to think like she think. You know why? Because you're the stronger link. She's the weaker link. You can't put that responsibility on the weakest link, because the weakest link is going to do what? Break. It's a weak link. So you have to now say, hey, am I ready to hold this up? Because now you're putting the weight on your shoulders. You got to go through her healing process. You got to go through the understanding, and you got to go through a whole different process because you don't know nothing about that life.
Man, I've been going through that process a lot. Listen, let me tell you something. Let's do hypothetical numbers. Let's just say if I dealt with 20 women, and 20 women was all of that what you're talking about, right? And I went 21, and I'm thinking, damn, she's different. She might be the one, right? And I decided I didn't marry no 20. I kept going. I might have slaughtered their ass, but I kept going. You know what I'm saying? Because that was all they were worth, for real. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how I went to the 21. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't even what you did.
Say what? We still got it.
Walk
That's part of our nature.
Ain't
That's
that
why.
what he was just talking about? Sometimes you still.
No. We still get our rocks off, regardless. We still gonna get our rocks off. Every man has
I
that.
fell asleep.
You know what I'm saying?
So what you saying?
What I'm saying, that's sideline. Listen, what I'm saying is, let's say I met the 21st person. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking she the one, and she's different, she blah, blah, blah. She still was no different than the rest of them.
Right.
So how?
Why was she not different? What are you saying?
Because she healed her trauma. Because she's seeing how the other 20 women was, she healed hers better.
A lot of women do
Behind
believe it or
God,
not.
behind the word of God.
But if you y'all watch Tubi, right?
Yes.
There's a movie on there called The Stepmother. Marcus Houston and then Erica Mena. She went after men that was widowed with teenage boys because she went through a trauma of somebody breaking into her house, tying her up, raping her, and tying her son up to watch. So what she did was she fled to another city and stuff, and Marcus Houston ended up being the victim. Right. His wife, the son was going to college. The wife, they celebrate. She ended up having a heart attack in the house while they celebrating and pass out. So they moved to another state. He ended up running into Erica Mena and all of that stuff. So long story short, she hid that she had a personality disorder from him.
Right.
She was taking medication to keep that under wraps, but she was having outbursts. Oh, so we ain't going to New York. You sleeping on the couch tonight. Right. They playing Twister. He falls on top of her because she has flashbacks. Right. She's like, let me go, let me go. And a lot of women do that. Like, it was me when I got raped and kidnapped. You couldn't touch my wrist. when we intimate, like that would make me have a flashback of when that stuff happened to me. So it's a lot of it's hidden, and a lot of it just comes out when it happens. But a lot of women do hide that they have those different personality disorders from these men.
That's why I grabbed her throat that night.
You know what? Anyway,
I'm like, so serious. She was traumatized.
Yeah, like,
it was very sensual. It was soft.
yeah, but yeah, you triggered a trauma for her. Like, I'm telling you, I would bloom all the way out if you grabbed my wrist. But it wasn't the fact that I was hiding mine.
Right.
I felt like at that time it was something that you didn't need to know because I didn't want nobody to know that about me.
But you allowed him to trigger that though, because you
But
didn't tell
I
him.
didn't, at the time that it happened, I didn't know that it was a trigger. I had to realize that there was a trigger for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to realize, like, I would tell him, like, nigga, don't grab my wrist.
So he could have grabbed your wrist.
Like, I had to eventually start telling, like, it's not you, it's me. It's the things that I still have to deal with. But at the beginning of the time, I didn't know how to deal with that.
That would
He
help
should have
with
grabbed
one
your
of the
wrist and
questions.
whispered in your ear at the same time. He would have
Shut up.
calmed you.
This is one of the questions, because somebody need to be healed tonight. Can you heal childhood trauma while in a relationship?
No.
That that was Ashley's question. What you got? So, give BA. What do you say?
I don't know if it's working.
Here we go. We got a big dog in the building.
Stand up so they can see. Bitch, you in the house. That's what you got nobody to say. You know, you big with that stand up. Come on,
Well,
that way. Come in. You know the routine.
You gotta be.
Turn around to the camera.
Basically, you gotta get help. Like you do, because it could destroy your relationship.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't get healed, then you can cause somebody else to go through the same thing that you going through. So you got to get.
What if they already going through it?
So yeah, that's what they came.
But a lot of times when people are going through it and you're around them, it's going to manifest in your life and you're going to go through it too. Whether it's a relationship, a friendship, a situationship, or whatever. Because I had to let a lot of people go in my life because they was around me talking about negative stuff and doing this and doing that, and it was spilling over into my life. And it took me like 2 or 3 times to realize, like, damn, you always talking about this and that. Now that's happened to me.
Yeah. So the question that Black just asked was, why do we do that? Like, why do we deal with people with childhood traumas? So a lot of that. Okay, so the different things. One is like attracts like.
Right.
2, you gotta say, like for me, I attract people that really, honestly, I need to be there for. But that's part of my purpose. So, function on purposes.
Both men and women.
Yeah, like what? When you have it.
But you still attract people.
Yeah, men. I'm saying men and women. Yeah, a lot
What
of
kind of
like.
men you attract that need you like that? What did we want from you?
What do you mean? What?
Hold on.
When we said trauma, we're talking about traumas. We talking about the healing part of it. And most of the time,
Like the childhood, it says, can you heal a childhood trauma while in a relationship?
there was like now really. You got a question. No, we gonna make them out. It's kind of like you led to that person, whatever. But I deal with a lot. Do I want to deal with it? It just depends on at that time.
You that chick though. You know what I'm saying? You like the small percentage too.
You got me friends and all that.
You she's a small percentage too. You know what I'm saying? She ain't in that big percentage, but she got a lot of knowledge. We got a question in the crowd.
When should you seek help from past trauma?
Immediately.
How would you say it? Said immediately.
Can time apart heal a relationship?
Time apart.
Yes. Can time apart heal a relationship?
I say no.
Break it.
I say no. I say time apart is like out of sight, out of mind. It can drift apart. I mean, it do depends.
I don't know. We don't agree with that.
The reason why I say
Somebody else can come in.
The reason why I say it
time apart.
depends. Even if you spend time apart, if neither party has done the work, then that's just separated, wasted time.
Yes. Because a lot of people, when they separate, they don't work on themselves. Right.
I think again, depending on what the situation is with the separation, what the separation was for, etc. Some separation should either draw you farther apart or it can bring you together.
If they do the work,
Depending on
don't let me
you.
separate.
So, okay, that's your mind. Right, you right. You automatically
Don't let
like,
me
it's
separate.
over. I know I get so out. I'm about to go with me.
GA Sports Center in the game.
Like, see.
When I split apart from somebody, I actually work on my mental. I actually work on
So
me.
people like working on this when the codependency come in and you gotta have time to heal. Right? He want the mic.
That codependency is
He need a mic.
big deal.
What
right now.
negative mindset would you like to let go of? Thank you. I don't know, sister. I was about to answer one question. Go ahead. Yeah. I mean, like y'all answer, I'd be like, I don't know.
I would say one negative mindset I would want to let go of is thinking that every guy that comes my way is gonna break my heart.
Fuck nigga free.
For real.
What's one negative? What you say? For you?
Fuck nigga free.
No, we're not saying that on the show. I hate that song.
What's up?
I'm not even repeating it.
That's
R-E-E. Yeah, I'm not doing
Oh,
that.
they tried to game with that song.
No.
It was one thought process that we always had, but now they took it to a whole other level with that
you
song.
know,
She just said that she's single and ain't no F nigga F dude go stress her out. It's so.
But you know, there's a
So we ain't gonna get off topic.
Yeah.
No, I don't be with that shit.
It's just that when you single, she's saying don't let her do stress you out no more. Pretty much, like
let's see.
everybody gonna stress somebody out though.
That's your interpretation. What's she talking about?
Right, like you real like
Probably every damn thing.
She said, at the traffic light, twerking on them headlights.
With her ratchet ass friend, that means when she's out by herself,
No.
right. We turn it on. That part ain't got nothing to do with a man. That part got to do with the fact that she's having friends and coming over with her ratchet ass friend.
She had a traffic light.
I don't think I ever twerked at a traffic light though.
She on the corner of my and we in the road.
I used to live on the street.
If this and that's the Kentucky Derby, that is not
Right.
question. Larry, what the question? You answer the question.
Okay, alright, so.
What negative mindset would you like to let go of?
Ooh, man, so,
Supposed to have something she wants to say.
No.
okay. The negative thing, is that I think that most women, you know what I'm saying, these days, they deal with a lot of stuff with, I don't care if they married.
What we talking about women? We talking about your negative mindset.
It's my negative mindset. My negative mindset comes from what I've seen and
What you want to
experienced.
get rid of?
Yeah.
Okay, is
Stop cheating on your goddamn husband and your boyfriend. You know what I'm saying?
what?
He said husband and boyfriend, so you're a boyfriend right now.
Hold on. So my negative thoughts that think that most women they're gonna cheat on their husband or boyfriend if their husband not do what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So my negative thought is just, man, most of y'all ain't talking about that.
Okay, what is your negative mindset that you would want to get rid of? Okay, Larry. You know who you slept with.
Hey, don't
No
knock my brain.
No
That's what
comment.
I
The negative
experienced.
mindset.
Come on. So we can get the
My
after party started.
Negative mindset.
That you would like to get rid of.
I don't really know.
Okay.
Cause I try daily to improve on who I am. So, and it's not all, it doesn't work all the time, but I try. I'm serious, I try. So I'm not sure what negative.
Don't let Larry throw you out.
Man, this girl is here. He's supposed to say that shit. He ain't being 100.
What?
I feel like they got very good communication.
They got great communication.
Yes, I feel like the way she came up here and opened up, they definitely have great communication.
Of course you do.
Right.
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Okay. Your woman says she feel like
She can't speak for you.
self-doubt. She know her man.
His brain is his brain.
But she just
But she
like
might be
you
right
said,
about
a
that.
perception of what you see
I say
from
that too.
somebody.
Self-doubt.
You don't work.
When my girl with me, and my girl with me,
Sometimes-
she do bad though.
Stop it, because sometimes body language speaks louder than words.
Well, yeah, you better say the wrong thing.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes body language does speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they've been together long enough to know
So-
that one of his things is self-doubt that he needs to work on.
I'm gonna tell you what me.
Coming to her with it.
I'm gonna tell you how I am. I'm gonna tell you how I am. I'm the type of person where I would say the wrong thing, knowing I said the wrong thing.
Okay.
Did you want to say it though? Did you want to say that wrong thing? Did you say it? And you want to say it?
If I wanted to say it, I would say the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Say it.
I would say the wrong
Say it
thing.
now. Say it. Say it.
Larry, don't fall into that. Don't fall in that trap.
No. Our relationship,
Question.
how our relationship is, real quick, how our relationship is. If I was to say the wrong thing, we'll talk about it.
Effective communication.
And then I say, well, and then see me, maybe I knew I said the wrong thing, or I didn't know I said the wrong thing. So, but I you know what? I kind of agree with that self-doubt thing.
She, because that's what I'm telling her. A negative, she knows her man. Like, he's coming to her with that. But see, a negative, I know, first question I'm answer. A negative mindset that I would like to let go of would be when expecting too much of myself. You know what I mean? Like, I always tend to think if I'm not everything all the time for everyone, that I'm failing. You know what I mean? Like last night I had to text somebody and I was like, I felt like, and I think I had mentioned this earlier to somebody on the way here, like, I feel like I took 20,000, I think I said 2,000 steps backwards, right? And I've always been hard on myself, and a lot of that is because of my past childhood. You know, Ashley, I had it at 14. So from that point on, and just listening to all of the negative talk in my family, mainly, honestly, from my mom's side, and those type of things, and the embarrassment that at that time my mom like said she had because I was pregnant, things like that, a lot of that stuff. From that point on, I was like, I had that, I can show you that, and I can tell you attitude. That mentality, not an attitude, but that became part of my characteristic. So from that point on, I didn't want to be the statistic either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm supposed to be in the projects. I'm supposed to have all these bad kids. I have 6 amazing children.
6 amazing
that I
kids.
love to
I
know.
vouch for
You know
that.
what I mean?
I vouch for that for
Great
real.
children.
My other 2
You know what I
are
mean? Productive,
Yes.
very intelligent. So to be a mom like that at 14 and raise the children like I have from now 30.
I don't know, because I feel like I'm big dog.
Yeah, big dog.
Hey, she
Listen,
raised me.
I've been around. I've been around a
Yes.
lot of women that had kids, 6, 7, 8 kids, and they know where you at. I salute you.
Thank
For
you.
real.
But it was like a lot of that caused, and not having my biological dad around that I know, a lot of these things is what, when I say the Pandora's box, that's where a lot of those things are. But even in that, I took everything as my lesson for me to elevate. You know what I mean? I don't personally hold no grudges with none of the things that was said about me. I remember everything. You know what I mean? Because those things are the things that help me level up. And I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna be there for you. But it did put me in a place where it was like, okay, I have a point to prove. It's like a superhero. The superhero stops what they're doing all the time. They can hear the cry for help, and they Johnny on the spot, and they might get we got the kitten out of the tree or something, but nobody really takes the time and say, I really think you. I see this is something that everybody don't do every day, etc. So going through all the things I've been through, you know, and the relocation, the rebuilding, the losing the spouse, the continuing to elevate and grow my legacy along, all these things are part of keeping me in a place where I'm like, okay, is this good enough? Yeah, you did that, you're doing that, but I could do something better. Like, I can go a step farther, like I'm always pushing. You know what I mean?
It's not easy.
Growing, but everything can be done in balance. You know what I mean?
We
And I don't
definitely try to tell
balance
her
that.
to
Like,
slow down.
I don't really balance that. Like I'm single, I'm like, dang, like I'm 46. Why am I'm single again? Well, I couldn't help that. 46. So, and I'm like, I just told him earlier, like I feel like
Don't play
I
with
took through there, don't play with me all the time. Like I feel like I took 2,000 steps back. But remind you, the normal person that wouldn't be something that they're trying to work on to get rid of wouldn't look at it like that. It's like, girl, you good. Like they're saying, like you good. And like you can't help. Like you ain't get a divorce, like you lost a spouse type thing. But in my mind space, it's like, yeah, is you 46? You single? Yeah, there's kids. You got, you know what I mean? That's the mindset. Because then it takes me back to, I got a point to prove. Outside of just really genuinely being happy and genuinely looking for exactly what I deserve and not thinking that I don't deserve that again. That would be what I would release. And then dealing with men with these emotional hindrances. That, yeah, you know what I mean? Then that brings back up like, dang, like, is it, you know what I mean? Even though I know it's not me, is it me or is it just, no, it be everybody's in the place that they're in. But that causes me to look at be like, okay, so I'm never gonna get that type of relationship again. Well, I'm okay with being the healer, and then a lot of times because really, I function better when I'm healing, when I'm the motivator, when I'm the teacher, when I'm helping. Like, and there's one BHQ, like he's another son. Then I have like it's like him. A couple of the artists, like, they call. 870 links ago, calm down. Like, they literally call, and it'd be always an issue with either their mom wasn't present,
Right.
something happened with the family like that. I have an understanding that that's part of what I'm supposed to do, but then I also have to understand that I need that healing as well. You know what I mean?
But listen,
like, who's pouring into me?
But listen, we all got a purpose on earth. God gave us all purposes.
Absolutely.
And what you've been through to where you at right now may have supposed to happen that way.
Absolutely.
Right? For you to understand what you got to do. Because sometimes we're born with certain things, but we don't know how to manifest and get it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you may be the healer.
I
may be a pastor, not in a church, and just be amongst the land. I may be in a mall. I may run across a young man.
Your energy.